the Miami Dolphins, it came out in reports that he got caught red-handed, and basically what he did is he was tampering. He was trying to basically, we all know he was trying to tank games.
Okay, that's what you was alluding to with the Deshaun Watson situation.
With Flores that came out last season, at the end of the season he was let go. There was reports that he wasn't happy with the front office, which I don't know what was going on. I don't know why you brought this guy in here. Like, you brought the general manager in, and general manager brought in Flores. Why did you bring him in if this is what at what point did you interview him and say, yo, he's going to be a yes man? Because you could tell by Flores's character, he's not a yes guy. So you were going to have him come in here and tank games because I think either you wanted Tua or another quarterback. There was reports that Flores came on a boat somewhere and saw the kid that they really wanted, and then he got up and left because he saw what was going on. It was goofy. So, Goodell finds it, he's offended by it. It's a bad look on the league. So he takes one of his 2 first-round draft picks, and then he fines him $1 million, and I think he can't really be around the team for like 2 or 3 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, mind you,
he's shaking in his boots.
He still gets the money. It's just. And now we're finding out that it was true, because I remember there was reports that Brady initially retired. This is why I think he went back to Tampa Bay. There was reports swarming that, especially when Flores got out, they were going to take Peyton. Remember, it was funny how Peyton just all of a sudden retired.
Yep.
And they were going to try to get Sean Payton, and they were going to try and get Tom Brady on the team in Miami, because that team's ready to play. That team is a playoff team. If you put Brady and Peyton in them on there, they're probably Super Bowl. Because New England, as good as they're trying to come up right now, they're still coming up. They're not. The only thing that's in their way is either Buffalo or Kansas City. But I'm not going to sidetrack. Point I'm making is that there was reports about that. We all thought that was rumors. It was funny that how when Flores came out and exposed everything, Tom Brady had denounced his retirement. He goes back to Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians goes up in the office. Peyton just always automatically retired. And then all of a sudden, because he had said, yo, I just need a break. You ain't need no break, man. You was getting ready to go to Miami.
Get out of there.
Yeah, you had a plan to go to Miami. Everybody keeps thinking it's Dallas. It was really Miami. That's where you was going. So clearly you had a plan. He got caught red-handed, but nothing ever changed. Like they didn't really do anything.
So does this go back to what you were saying when we was discussing the Deshaun Watson situation, how there is... it seems like the rules are left up into interpretation. Mm-hmm. You break a rule, depending on how much backlash we get from the public, that'll be your punishment. Yeah. Is that fair to say?
Facts.
So, sticking in this vein, when somebody gets caught red-handed to that effect.
If that was a player, he get kicked out.
That's where I was going with it.
So
if it was a player,
to give a
what would happen?
Okay, so Stephen Ridley, who's on Atlanta Falcons, they made it clear. All he did was bet on a few games. He was out for the year anyway, man. He wasn't that wasn't gonna work for him. So he bet on a few games. The commissioner, the league suspended him for I think it was for a year, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 6 games or was it a year? I think Ridley got a year. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ridley got a year.
Well, to be fair, what was the baseball player name?
Pete Rose.
Yeah, they can go back to that and say, well, look at Pete Rose.
Yeah, Rose is way out of control though. Rose's gambling
I think they want to
control.
set a standard because not just with Pete Rose, but I'm big into basketball, so we all know that basketball referee. I forgot his name.
I know you're talking about.
But the basketball referee who exposed everything, he even said in a podcast, like, yeah, we bet on games. We even affected how the games were officiated, and he gave a story with Allen Iverson. I guess Allen Iverson gave him some comments, and he told him, okay, no problem. We'll eat this, but let's see how your next 4 games go. And Allen Iverson even commented and said, yeah, I had to look at them and say, yo, when is this going to be over? So,
what do you mean?
The way they were officiating, they were calling crazy fouls, carries, like, because of the betting on the game. So just to go in with the person you named, Pete Rose, and then the NFL referees, I think leagues, that's like taboo. Like leagues don't want to let that slide. So I get the year suspension, looking at the record they got with Pete Rose, and then when they look over to the NBA, they got I haven't heard players betting on it, but we have heard owners and referees. But go ahead.
Yeah, so he's really was betting on games. So Goodell came down hard on him, but you didn't come down hard on Stephen Ross the same way.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? He should not be doing nothing for. He should have lost all his first round draft picks. He should have got fined way more than $1 million. It's like that's like finding us $5. Like, what are you doing?
Okay.
I could give you $5.
I'm about to say, $1 million, man. That's
to us that's a lot of money. But to a billionaire, that's nothing. That's nothing. If I never forgot, I watched this show called Billions, and I know I think he had like double-digit $1 billion. And I think he was initially going to go to court. The character's name is Axelrod. He was going to go to court and he was going to take the plea deal, and he was only still going to have triple-digit millions, like $500 or $340 million, which is a lot of money. But when you got like double-digit $1 billion, that's a big cut. You talking about $1 million to a billionaire? That's like to us.
Tax
like,
write-off.
Yeah, that's nothing. So it's kind of equivalent of that. That was like a slap on the wrist. And then Goodell's over here like talking like he really did something. You ain't do nothing, man. Come on, stop.
So just to interject, we've been on this. It seems like for like a little bit. Mm-hmm. If I said Azar, okay, these are the problems in the NFL. Mm-hmm. We see one of the problems is the way Goodell is treating the players versus the owners, and basically black players versus owners who are not black. What would you like to see done to remedy that situation?
We need to go back to the CBA.
Okay, so it's a CBA issue.
But you need to get, I think his name is Maurice Smith. He has to go. He has to go. Because he's the one that convinced these players to sign that deal. Why would you sign a deal like that?
They signed the same deal that Fabio Foreign did.
Yeah, no guaranteed contracts, no nothing. Y'all walking out there playing with broken bones, playing with concussions, playing with something, and then you come back around. There's no guaranteed money. And these owners is walking around billions of dollars. They getting paid. It's like Dame said, and I don't take everything that he says to task. But if the players stopped, there would be no NFL. Imagine if the players started getting fed up and was like, yo, we tired of the way y'all treating us. Yo, we ain't playing. Now what you gonna do? What you gonna do now?
That movie that came out, The Replacements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how's that gonna work? I ain't watching that.
You remember The Replacements?
I'm not watching that.
For you guys that's young, it was a movie that was based off this theory, and there was like a holdout, and the owners went and got some pretty much people off the street. Yeah, that product would not work, but there needs to be a holdout the same way there was a holdout in baseball, because you put me onto that. What year was the holdout in Major League Baseball? I want to say 94, man. Because you know why I remember? I remember Griffey was about to break that record before Barnes steroid behind came in there. And I never forgot, he was knocking them out every night. But anyway, I'm sorry, sidetracking. He was going to break that record, and then they went on strike. And they weren't, and their union is no joke. Major League Baseball union is no joke. They're not playing that game. They're not going to sit there and babysit this is what y'all going to do. They're not doing that. No. And the NBA players are the same way. Now, there's some things because of what those other buffoons that's in there. But there's going to be. We're going to get into that. The owners are going to get some of that stuff back, but they ain't going to get what the NFL got. The NFL is literally we're just going to treat you like trash and you're just going to tolerate it. Come on, man. They don't even have an answer. And let me say this as a side note, because I know I'm sounding like I'm all over the place. I heard, when they talked about, as far as, diversity in the NFL, right? And I'm Atlanta Falcons fan. Arthur Blank said, we have failed. Really? You just now realizing that, Arthur Blank? You had a head coach, open coaching position, and Eric Bieniemy didn't get hired. Pep Hamilton didn't get hired. Nobody else got hired. None of the qualified coaches of color in the league, in the NFL, have gotten hired. You're the owner. You know better. Don't you dare make a statement like that. We have failed. You knew you failed, man. You went out and got the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. He had Derrick Henry. Really? Yeah, really? I could run that offense. That's
just run Derrick Henry and throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Corey Davis.
And wow. That's like being a head coach and you got two of the top 5 players in the NBA.
It's equivalent of having. Remember when Jimmy Johnson left the Cowboys and Barry Switzer took over?
Mm-hmm.
Greatest coaches Barry Switzer is. Anybody could have came in there and ran that offense. So don't tell me like you get what I'm saying. You didn't notice it. You don't mean. This is the one thing I say. It's like in the workplace. This is the one thing I say. They say, well, we didn't know that there was an issue with people of color. So you mean to tell me when you have a meeting in the morning, you look around, you don't see no people of color, that never registered to you in your day in your life? Do you really want to sit there and insult my intelligence? Really? So to go back to the equivalence of what we're talking about, it's kind of like that. I don't get it.
It's a lot to digest, man. Like you said, the NFL has a lot of problems.
They have a lot of issues.
And not to dismiss one problem over another, just a lot of problems. That we're going to talk about that in other future podcasts, but I think that CBA for the NBA is going to be very important. That's coming up. And going to the NFL is going to be more. This isn't a word, so please don't kill me. More importanter.
Right. More important. Yeah.
Before we get off this topic, I come to you with the CBA. I say, Azar, you get a chance to vote or have something included in the CBA that you would think that would make the product of the NFL a little better. If I come to you and say, hey, what do you want to include in the CBA?
I want guaranteed contracts. I want Roger Goodell off the list. He is not going to make the final decision. We are going to get an independent arbitrator. Guaranteed contracts, an independent arbitrator. I would take the rule. The Rooney Rule is kind of a joke. I don't know if I would even tolerate that at this point. But also if you don't show up, if you're on a contract holdout, no fines.
Okay.
Like we're gonna start working with this. Y'all gonna work with us, cause y'all getting billions of dollars and your family are benefiting off of it. And I don't understand why you're sitting here telling me what you ain't gonna do. I don't understand that. So I'm just having an issue with the fact that they're trying to sweep things under the rug. And I noticed with the diversity thing, they don't really talk about that. It's always demystifying. Let me make this clear too. To you athletes coming into the NFL, specifically NFL, because this is such a topic and an issue, and ever since, let's be real, Ray Rice was caught on tape, you athletes, especially black athletes, please, man, when you get in the league, keep, and I know this sounds corny, keep your mind off those women, focus on your craft, do what you have to do, because think about it, you're building for generational wealth. You are building to, even if you only play in the league for 3 years, even if you only play for 2 years, it can lead to coaching opportunities, analyst opportunities, job opportunities. Please, man, focus on your craft. The women, Ice-T said that, he said this a long time ago, I saw in a clip, the women will always be there. Leave them alone and focus. Well, focus. Let me put it this way. Do you think that, let me say this. Do you think that when Peyton Manning came in the league, he was running around partying, having all these girls and doing all that? He wasn't doing that. But he was embedded into that's in his environment. We don't come from that environment. So what I'm telling you is that it needs to be said, focus on your craft. Leave it alone.
Let me give my take. So I halfway agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been in that position.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard successful people, and I think Kevin Hart just did Kevin Hart appeared on a podcast with The Pivot, and he talked about some of his shortcomings and how people had said to him, "Oh, how could you ever do this?" And he's looking at them and he's like, "Well, you never, I take ownership for what I did, but you never been in this situation. So I don't know what it feels like to maybe in college be the 7 guy,
mm-hmm.
and maybe get one look here, one look there, and then now I'm drafted." So it becomes a whole new world. So what my take is, as much as I would like to, like I said, I halfway agree with you. As much as I would like to say that, it's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible. So I'm not going to say don't focus on that, because we're human nature. You know, when you get outside of lifting weights and getting hit, like if that's what you're into, you're gonna go party X, Y, Z. Maybe this has to be included in the CBA. And I know this doesn't get talked about in that vein in NFL. If you feel like you have certain issues going on coming into the draft, is there an opportunity for therapy, even behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Because I know that's not going to be a big topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, men don't like talking about that stuff in locker rooms with other guys, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, let's say, what was the player that got in trouble? The dude that did this. Remember, he threw up the dubs and was like, "Oh, I'm eating a W." The black quarterback that's on the Saints that got injured.
Winston.
So he got in trouble for, I want to say in college. I want to say it was in college.
After college, he was getting in trouble.
So just go with me on this one.
It was a sexual assault. Go ahead.
So take a player like Winston that got in trouble in college, but you know you're going to be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL has to put something in the CBA. I hate to say it, but you have to save these players from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these players who are African American or black from the diaspora, however you want to go with that, are coming from backgrounds where, again, they're not coming from generational wealth, or hell, forget generational wealth, just
good
a certain structure.
Yeah.
So if I see a kid that I know has this potential coming into this $1 billion industry, I have to save you from yourself. I know this is, and I don't want to jump off topic. Carmelo Anthony has alluded to this multiple times. I'm going to keep flipping the basketball because that's my strong point.
No, go ahead. All right, I'm following you.
He got pulled into, after the brawl in New York, that boxing match.
Yeah, we all know.
He told this story multiple times. He said, I forget the commissioner. Silver the commissioner?
Silver, not Silver.
No,
Stern.
I'm sorry. So Stern pulled him in, was like, okay, if this is the image you want to portray, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a $1 billion industry, and we're investing a lot of money into you.
Right.
So you know I had people looking into your background, right? Carmelo Anthony has said this. He said, I know that person behind you over there. I know where he lives at. I know what he's doing. I know the person behind you over there in that music video you appeared in.
Mm-hmm.
Your homeboy over here, I know what he's selling. He basically just, Carmelo Anthony said he went down the line and he said he left his jaw drop, basically saying, you can either change or people are going to start getting locked up and you're going to be out the league. What do you want to do? Point I'm making is, if the NBA could see that, I know the NFL could see that. You have to give these young players, I don't want to say opportunity to box them in, but there has to be a program in place that's, to me, it should be mandatory.
Yes.
It should be mandatory. You should have to see a mental health coach, because this is why I said I halfway agree with you with the women's statement, because to me it's not. Let's just talk about, for example, I grew up in the 80s in the crack era, blah, 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 poor, whoop-de-whoop. I don't know what the hell it feels like to get a contract saying, yo, you about to make $2 million a year. I might lose my wig. Now, yeah, I'm grounded, but I'm just saying the average kid.
Right.
So to me, like you those 4 years as a rookie or whatever, like there should be a time limit in the CBA. Like, yo, your first 3-4 years in the league, this is mandatory. You need to see a mental health coach. You need to see a financial officer, this, that, and that. That should be a part embedded into the NFL program. So we're not just spitting you out to the wolves when you get millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then we act surprised when you get in trouble when you go back to your neighborhood. That's my take. To me, that would be better advice for the league to address the players that are getting in trouble. Because to me, telling them to not worry about women, that's only going to get so far.
It's I agree 1,000%, and I don't think it's just about worrying about women. I think it's just, what I'm saying is focus on your craft.
Yes, that I agree with.
Stop partying, and when I say don't leave these women alone, leave the partying alone, leave that street stuff alone. Anybody that's in your circle, let me tell you from personal experience, anybody that's in your circle that at that stage in life that's promoting that street mess, they not good for you anyway. Get them out of there. They got to go. You get what I'm saying? They have no business being there. So that's my whole point. Like, just leave it alone. Focus on your craft. I mean, let's be honest. You think Carson Wentz is doing that when he came out the draft? Do you think that Tom Brady was doing that? No, none of them was doing that. They focused on their crafts. All that'll come later. Brady's got a beautiful wife and kids. He has a model wife because he focused on his craft. All the other stuff will come. So when I say that, that's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Stop running around here thinking like, yo, I'm a because you focusing on that, man. You might be a cool dude for now. What happens when you 3 years, you so wrapped up in this mess with old girl and all this other stuff, you might not be playing in the league. Don't do it. Focus on your craft. If you focus on that and get ready, because this reality. I know they have like NFL camps or whatever.
That's not good enough.
Nah.
That's why the spill that I just gave for 5 minutes. That's what I was alluding to.
Yes.
That little rookie program. You need a financial component. That's better than that because I'm still watching 30 for 30. I still see those takes on. Yo, I got drafted. I made $10 million and then this financial advisor ripped me off and now I'm broke. You need a mental health component for all aspects. Just to see, like, let's talk about it. There's a lot of forget players. There's a lot of people with undiagnosed mental health issues, and it's not for me to call out.
Yeah.
That should be dealt with behind the scenes because if I draft you, do I know if you hypothetically have schizophrenia? And I'm not saying schizophrenia as a catch term. I mean, you might be undiagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia. Do I know if you have that? Do I know if you have this X, Y, and Z term? No. I think every last player, black, white, whatever the race is, like that has to be embedded in that rookie camp more than just, oh, hey, this 6-week program where, because I seen it on Sports Center where they had the flat screen and they pull your favorite NFL veteran and, oh, hey, when you get in the league, don't do this.
Yeah.
Come on, man. These guys are humans. They're not robots. They're coming into a different generation. They might be in a situation. Just peep this, right? Prior to social media, before celebrities got overexposed and lost their veil, when was you seeing when you can walk out your locker room or whenever and see this celebrity right here?
Right.
Because social media and the way these players move in this generation, yo, some of these your favorite artists is following these football players since college. They're showing up to their games. Just like we talked about old boy going to the what's his name? James Harden going to the studio with that rapper.
Yeah.
That's what these players are doing. This is a whole new different generation. So now you got this player who's a top first round draft pick. He's making $10 million. He wants to hang hypothetically, allegedly with Little Baby. What do you think is going to happen? Come on.
It's not going to go well.
Come on.
Yeah.
He's introducing that, and that's not an indictment on Little Baby. I'll just say rapper X because I don't want nobody to take that and run with it. He's hanging out with rapper X. What do you think is going to happen? I can throw a wild alley-oop. He's going to get into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, that was my take from that. Like there has to be a stronger component that needs to be included in a CBA if that's what y'all are worried about.
No, you said it best. You said it best.
Now